going on, everyone? This is Mitch with SC Weather. Hope you all been having a great Wednesday as we round it off. It's still very active out there. There's still severe thunderstorm warnings ongoing, very strong storms, and what it looks like right now is starting to really turn into is just a lot of heavy rain, and storms are kind of combining into each other, and there is just a lot of rain and maybe the potential for flooding here in the coming hours before all the energy pretty much clears the coast, and much cooler air, which is what we're going to talk about in this video, also really begins to enter the picture. I'm talking about a lot of areas getting below freezing or at freezing. There's actually freeze watches. Freeze watches, frost advisories, and so forth really occur really early in the year and really late in the year as far as the winter section. So you normally get it kind of in the fall, and then you get it late in the spring, depending on where you are and where your criteria is as far as time frame. So we're going to break all that down. We're going to talk a little bit about the storms that are ongoing right now. We're also going to talk about the colder air and take a peek at what can we expect on down the road as we get deeper into April. This is the last day of March, so April is normally the most intense month here in the southeast, at least, for severe weather in the deep south and mid-south. So if you guys have not subscribed, definitely consider doing that. It's a great way to support me, and it's a great way to stay up to date. I post daily unless it's just not really anything to talk about, but even then I try to post every day because the weather's ongoing. Something can always pop up, and I like to try to keep you all up to date. Also, I want to mention this. I've had a couple of you guys donate. I mentioned, I think Sunday night, that I put my PayPal down in my bio, and I just mentioned that if you guys want to donate, it's just a way to support me and try to get my setup a lot better so I can improve talking to y'all guys about weather daily. I love doing this, but sometimes it's sometimes I definitely want to make my setup much better for you guys and improve it. So there's been 2 people, and I just want to tell you guys that I appreciate it. And thank you all for the awesome support. But like the video if you like it, and let's get going because it's there's a decent amount to talk about right at this moment. So this is radar scope. This is what's going on right here. You got some strong storms, but you notice, and we could probably look at the Columbia radar. There's still a lot of light rain back here, but it's just not in sight of the Wilmington radar. But this is a line of storms really getting its act together. The sun's starting to go down. I mentioned yesterday that there was going to be a chance that some people were going to see some shelf clouds, and there's definitely been a lot of images on Twitter of some awesome photogenic storms, but so far no major damage occurred with these storms. It looks like this one near south of Florence, Atlanta area, Turbeville, I might have some hail in it, but right now there's nothing major going on. But if you live kind of in the areas of the eastern Carolinas, still be weather aware. You have a cell just north of Charleston that produced some hail. Definitely be weather aware because it's going to be active over the next several hours before all the energy clears the Carolinas. We can get this system out of here and much calmer weather really begins to move in. So what we got going on here is, let's back it up here. This is our front that's moving through. This is the moisture, but check out the snow behind it. There's going to be snowing in areas overnight in West Virginia, Pennsylvania, any kind of moisture left in the high altitude range of the mountains of North Carolina, Tennessee, Virginia, West Virginia. It's going to turn to snow, and there's potential from the higher elevations. I'm talking about 5,000 feet up and things like that for several inches of snow. As we turn the calendar over to April, snow April Fools. Yes, there's definitely going to be snow. It's not super uncommon. It happens. Definitely happens every few years. I mean, it's happened multiple times over the last 10 years. But it happens, it goes through, and the system moves over, and high pressure moves ahead, and you get much colder temperatures for the next few days. And you look at the potential for snowfall. Check out the interior Northeast. It's going to get a good thumping of snow right on April 1st. And then if you look really hard here, it's going to be hard to see. There's an area of blue right here on the spine in the Great Smoky Mountains National Park and them higher elevations for several inches of snow. You got to go way up there. But you look at the watches and warnings right here. You got these areas right here in the blue. That's not a snow advisory. What this is it's a freeze watch really issued for these areas here. So if I click the Columbia, South Carolina area, for example, if this would speed up, we're under a freeze watch in these areas. So there's a lot of areas expecting a freeze. That a lot of these areas will probably turn into a freeze warning, which means it's likely to occur. But we'll continue to watch this. So if we take a peek here, here's the temperatures. Notice we're much warmer this evening, but as the front clears, and these are temperatures, look at the much colder air that comes through. This is around when everybody's getting up for work. If you work, a normal day shift, tomorrow morning. Notice how much chillier. And this is just the NAM. It could be warmer, it could be colder. But look how cold it is in the mountains of North Carolina. Look how cold it is in here in Ohio Valley. The entire area is below freezing. And it's showing 40s all the way to the Gulf Coast. So this anchor of colder air is from a trough digging like this. So it's not really digging like this per se. It's digging kind of like this. So it's really just for the eastern U.S. But as we move into the day, later into the day, Thursday, you can really tell where the core of the coldest air is and where the trough's digging right here as the warmth starts to build back over Texas, and this trough is really centered over here. So this is around your normal high temperatures of the day, 21Z Thursday. That's around the afternoon hours Thursday. High temperatures only showing in the 50s across all the way to the panhandle of Florida, so the front hasn't quite made it to South Florida and Miami, so you guys are still enjoying warm weather, but it is cold. High temperatures only showing into the 20s and 30s here in the mid-Atlantic and the higher elevations, but definitely a chilly day tomorrow, and honestly, it's going to get much colder. Check out the temperature forecast as we get into Friday morning. A freeze almost all the way to the coastal areas of North Carolina. The freeze makes it deep into the Midlands of South Carolina, all the way to central Georgia. Probably these rural areas in central Georgia and southern Georgia will still hit freezing. All the way into northern Alabama, and most of the state of Tennessee is under freezing. Kentucky can get really, really cold. I mean, these aren't just in the 30s. These are deep into the 20s. So that's why I stress to you guys, and a lot of other people do too, not to plant yet. I really think after we get past this cold blast over the next couple of days, let us get to about Sunday or Monday, and next weekend, you can hold me to it. If we get some freak freeze in mid-April, I'm sorry, but I know I plan on starting to plant next weekend. I feel that we're done with any crazy freezes. Anything can happen, but I feel like we're done. But notice we get into Friday. It's still a chilly day. Highs in the 50s across the southeast mid-Atlantic, the 40s. You get into Saturday night, and this kind of gets out of range, but I can go on and tell you that Saturday morning, Friday night into Saturday morning is going to be another cold morning too. And then as we get into Saturday during the day, the high temperatures begin to get warmer as high pressure begins to shift more east and gets on out of here, and we start to get some ridging that begins to build back in place and some warmer temperatures. But as far as storm systems, and let's continue to talk about the temperatures real quick, and we'll get this on through. But it's, you look at temperatures, look how much they start to build as you get into Sunday. Look at this. Look at the warmth that builds all the way and almost into Canada. But much warmer air, much warmer pattern, a much more dominant, long-lasting spring-type pattern as far as temperatures begins to take over the U.S. It's almost like this trough is winter's last gasp. Now, I know we'll get another crazy trough that'll dip the temperatures colder, but not as cold as this one. But, you look all the way into next weekend, it looks like I don't see any super cold blasts. It'll get nippy a couple days, but it really looks like we finally shake off winter. But as far as any major systems, I'll tell you what, it's not going to be a whole lot to talk about as we get after this system. I don't really see any system at all, not just a major system, but any system as we get into Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. Might get some showers into the northeast, but the next system I'm watching is all the way till next Friday, next weekend. We'll see what develops here. And this looked kind of like a more northwest to southeast flow, which can deliver some nasty severe weather, but there's no details on that at all. So we'll continue to watch the pattern, see how it evolves, but but this time of the year tends to be kind of weird. It gets very active like it's been the last few weeks, and then you can get some very slow periods, which is kind of good after you get a very active period. But that's all I got, guys. I appreciate y'all tuning in. Like I said, the weather's going to get a little slow after the day. Very stable conditions move in over the next few days. Very cold, so prepare for that. Don't think because today was warm in certain areas of the country that tomorrow is. It's not how it is. It's going to be nippy tomorrow. So That's all I got. Thank y'all for tuning in, and y'all stay safe, and God bless all y'all.